Okay, hello everyone. Welcome. Another fun vlog I thought I would just pop on screen. Again, this is the kind of thing where I could probably write a couple paragraphs on Facebook, but I thought, why not? Why not just pop the camera on here. I'm using my iPad turned around, so it'll be a small file and should upload quickly, and I can get it up on the YouTubes tonight for your viewing enjoyment. It's almost Halloween. Do you have your stickers? You can see I got these when I was in America, 2 for $1. They're very generic. They have a few that are a little bit more fun. Oh, that's upside down, sorry. I've got a huge bag of candy corn. This is my favorite Halloween candy. And it had the added advantage that it's not chocolate, so it won't melt. They have a little bit of Halloween stuff here. I can show you one. There's a couple bags that I got for next week in my office. Halloween type themed candy here. So it does exist here, but I like to give them American stuff if I can. I'll go out to a shop called Trial. It's kind of like a Walmart type place. It's got a bunch of stuff, and hopefully they'll have like M&Ms and Snickers and stuff I can give them. But I don't go crazy spending a lot of money on that stuff. I don't think I'm going to give like one candy to every student that I teach or something. That would maybe be a little bit too expensive for me. All right, let's jump in. So, for some people, the politeness of Japanese people, this is going to sound strange, can sort of be not irritating, but taken for granted or perhaps not appreciated after a while of you living here. And what I had happen to me was yesterday I was walking back from lunch, and it was just one of those moments where you stop and think, I'm really happy that I live where I live. And it was just one of those nice moments that you can take for granted. I've lived here going on 10 years almost. So I went to the school restaurant, which is down a long hallway. It's away from the main cafeteria where most of the kids eat. It's mostly used by faculty. And to get there, you have to walk down this long corridor with no other intersections. So you have to pass the people that you pass. When you see them down at the end of the hallway, eventually you're going to pass them. But I was walking down and back to my office here. And I was probably, not deep in thought, but I was probably thinking about my next class or my next lesson plan, or, I had to teach again later that day. And so I was absorbed in thought. I was by myself, so, I was probably just whirring away in the brain pan there. And a student came up behind me. I'm a pretty big guy, so they were passing me, it's not a large hallway. And so, I could hear them coming, walking. I walk fairly slow, so they were going to pass me. And normally when someone comes up behind you and passes you, maybe you don't have a greeting. Maybe you just don't say hello or anything to them. I don't know about you in your country. But, sometimes of course you would. So I turned and just sort of, probably, normally when I see students and I walk by, I try to smile, I try to, hey, so, just be, cheerful, etc. for them. But, I probably just looked at him, again, like, not even knowing who it was or anything, because they hadn't walked toward me. They were coming up from behind me and whatever. And, I just sort of probably looked over and didn't smile, maybe because, again, like I was in thought or something or not thinking about it. But he looked at me and we kind of, matched eyes for a split second. And he just said, "Konnichiwa Sensei," and kept walking. And I said, to follow him, I said, "Oh, konnichiwa," but not really looking back or anything, but just, and as he walked past me, he gave a bow, he didn't just nod the head, he did actually kind of, almost in stride with walking, he bowed, "Konnichiwa Sensei," and he just kept walking, and I thought, that's just so nice, like, he's not my student. Again, I saw his face for a brief moment. He's not one of my students. He knows obviously that I'm a teacher maybe here at the university, because why else would I be here? You know, it's just so respectful and polite, and it's such a social lubricant that does make it very, very easy to live here sometimes. And as I walked further, I got to a staircase, and I was going down the staircase to walk to a further part of the building, and a female student was walking up the staircase. So again, we can't not sort of acknowledge each other. In situations like that, I try to preempt. I try to say something, because I know they're probably like, oh, what do I say? Do I use English? Do I use Japanese? Certain things are probably running through their brain. So if I'm not in class and I'm just walking around campus, especially if they're not my student, I usually use Japanese. So to her, I just say, oh, konnichiwa, and she's kind of, oh, konnichiwa. And she just kept walking up the stairs, and I kept walking down the stairs. And then, just to further emphasize it, right before I got to the elevator to take it up a floor and walk over to my office, another student walked by, a freshman, who again is not my student, but I've met him, just here and there, maybe seen him around campus. He walked by and said, "Hello, Mr. Harris," in really nice English as he walked by, and didn't stop or pause like he was going to continue chatting. That was just his greeting. "Hello, Mr. Harris," and just kept walking. Now, a lot of the kids will not, "Konnichiwa Sensei." I mean, Sensei is really nice if they say that to me, but to say my name and use hello, and it was just it was just like, it's really nice, And it was just one of those days where I don't know why, but it's it just struck me I don't think I would walk around a campus in America, perhaps, and you would just get that kind of polite, greetings and stuff. Now, some people that have lived here a while, it grates. They're like, it's, all the Ohayou gozaimasu in the morning, or whatever, all the little artifice of saying shitsure shimasu or otsukaresama deshita when you have to leave, or, all these things, and it's all phony and blah, 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 blah. And I can see that. I can see that getting on some people, but for me, I kind of like that. And just some days, I could just walk along and be kind of thinking to myself and not really acknowledge other people. And, but it's nice to walk, and just have these kind of casual hellos and things. And it's just polite and kind. And it just made me feel good as I walked back to my office from lunch. And, I don't think on the part of students it is fake or insincere. Certainly students walk past me and don't say anything sometimes. They're not forced. It's not like, some anime or something where it's like senpai kohai, or you have to say something, or I get out my samurai sword and cut you in two or something. I mean, it's not that. It's just, it's just nice. Now, if I say something to you as an adult and you're a student, or especially I'm a teacher and you're a student, and you don't say anything back to me as you walk past, then I consider that a little rude. I do consider that a little rude. If I walk by and I say, "Oh, konnichiwa," and a group of students are walking together and at least one of them doesn't say, "Oh, hello," or "Oh, konnichiwa," something, or all of them in unison or something, then I would be like, "Hey, what, somebody should have said something. I took the time to say hello. You should take time to say hello too." So it is kind of a double-edged sword sometimes. But most of the time, I don't worry. And I'm usually sometimes walking down the hall talking with a colleague, or, in my own head, like I said, thinking about what I'm about to teach or something. So I don't necessarily go around saying hello to everybody I pass. But it was just nice. I just really liked it. Okay, and then to button this story, today in the cafeteria, just so you know that all my students aren't these little gems of politeness that, just radiate greatness. One of my students who's been in my class since April, it's now October, his name is Takahiro, he is a character. He was doing a tour, he was leading a tour group of kokosei, of high school students around the university. And I met him when he was in the front of the library, and I said, "Oh, you're doing a tour?" And English is really bad. And he's like, and I was like, you're going to show them around the library? He's like, oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm like, okay, do good, speak English, and he just laughed. So then I go to lunch in the cafeteria, and I go a little early before second period lets out at 12:20, and the cafeteria gets really full. So I go about noon, and it's not so full, and that's when the high school students were also eating lunch before the college students started to flood in. And a bunch of them, looking at me, because obviously not only am I Gaikokujin, but I'm a big guy, and I'm walking around, and they're probably like looking at my plate, like, what did he order and stuff. And so I'm sitting there eating, and a student comes up to me to chat about class or something, and another student comes up, and this is how it goes when I eat in the cafeteria sometimes. Another student comes up and is like, I've been in your class for 4 weeks now. Is my pronunciation okay? Do you understand me when I'm talking? And so we chat about that for a little while. And then Tatsuhiro comes over and goes, where are you from? And I just went, what? I went, oh, do you need to ask someone? No, where are you from? That's good English for the question. He's like, oh, okay. And he paused, and I realized he's asking me, where are you from? I thought he was asking me like how to say it so he could tell his students or something, because they wanted to come over and ask me or something. And I'm like, I wanted to say, dude, you've been in my class, and you're like, a sophomore here, you've known me for, and you're asking me now, I know I did my Jiko Shokai for you, where am I from? Come on. So I thought maybe, okay, so then my brain went, well, maybe he wants something really specific, and he just kind of forgets. So I said, oh, I'm from California Shu, California State. San Diego is my hometown, San Diego. I said it again so maybe he could understand the pronunciation. And he just looked at me like, America? And I went, hi, America des, America Jin. And he was like, oh, okay. And so that's all he wanted, was to know if I was from America. And I'm like, how does he not know that, There's only 4 male English teachers here at my university. 3 of us are American. The only other one is a guy that's from New Zealand, but he's only here 2 days a week. He's really part-time. The rest of us are here 5 days a week. We're all American. And I realize you can't just tell from my accent or whatever, but I know I just talked to them 2 weeks ago in class. Oh yeah, what'd you do this summer? We went around the class talking about what we had done during the summer vacation. And I said, oh, I went to America and saw my family and blah, blah. It just makes me realize, sometimes that, as much as you think you're teaching them or they're knowing, they don't know anything. They're not. He would not have gotten a sticker. Damn it. So that was a little bit at least he didn't just guess and go, oh yeah, I think he's from South Africa, or he's Australian, or something. He came over and asked at least. Yeah, my kids, I tell you. All right, well, this went on far too long, but thank you for watching if you watched all the way in. If you watched all the way to the end, would you try something called Chiza? If I gave you one of these crackers, would you eat it? What do you think? Do you like cheese? They're very, very cheesy. So, this is one of my favorite snacks. All right, Beatles, Jason, see ya. Thanks for watching.